Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. Today, I want to talk about Gregg Popovich, soon to be Hall of Fame. He may already be in the Hall of Fame because I think some of these Hall of Fame places induct people even while they're still coaching and stuff. And so this guy, he may already be in the Hall of Fame. He's a coach. He's had a lot of success. That's how I will put it. He's had a lot of success. And Gregg Popovich, coach of the San Antonio Spurs, suffers from one of the most acute and severe cases of Trump derangement syndrome, TDS. And he gets asked a question which is completely irrelevant to what he even does, his expertise, the game. Some random journalist, you can hear from the man's accent. He's some foreigner asking him about democracy in the US, and it is just like catnip. Popovich even says, he can sit here and talk for an hour. That's how much hate this dude can that's how much TDS and hate he has. He can just go on and on and on and on and on about Trump. Half of the Spurs fans are Trump supporters. And this dude is just basically calling them all a bunch of loser morons. He frames it. Let's just listen just to a little bit before I just clown on this fool.
George.
Just one question about the US election. What do you think about that? And do you think it's important for the future of the democracy of the USA?
Probably. You can just speak for an hour? Come on. We all have.
Really, nobody wants to hear this dude talk for an hour about anything other than basketball. Really? This is like an old man. This guy is so old. He's farting dust, dude. Look at him. He's old as shit. He should have retired and left years ago. He's past his prime. He is overrated, okay? Without Tim Duncan, this dude is nothing, okay? He has no championships if he coaches for the Sacramento Kings. He has no championships if he coaches for just name all the other NBA teams who are middle road. This dude isn't changing shit, all right? Tim Duncan won those championships. Tim Duncan, players win championships. This dude is just there for the ride, calling some plays, all right? The ball bounces where it may. You can call a player or two, all right, great. But he is not a great coach. He's lucky that one of the greatest basketball players who ever lived, he just happened to be able to coach, and they won championships. He's like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady leaves? What did he do? Win another championship. What did Belichick do? Nothing, okay? Tim Duncan retires. What has Pop done since then? Nothing, all right? They're not even competitive. They suck, all right? And it's because of this loser, TDS sufferer. I wish he would, leave like all these leftists always say they're going to do, and then they don't, all right? Because they're a bunch of talkers, all right? They talk a lot. He ain't doing nothing. This dude, I cannot imagine that management, Frost Bank does a lot of business with people who are Trump supporters, and they got to listen to this old man. Dude, this guy is on the verge of dementia, I'm telling you. And yet, Frost Bank, I'm associating Frost Bank. I'm going to tag you on this. I'm associating Frost Bank with Trump haters at this point.
hundreds of thoughts about the election. Everybody does, and it's almost become trite. Everybody has their own talking points and all that. I try to narrow it down sometimes and think about. We all know that one candidate did this and that and the other. None of it very good as far as being a criminal and that sort of thing. But
he called him a criminal. That's classic.
we all know what he does.
Oh, what does he do? You see how this loser old fart. I mean, he talk about sacred elephant just riding off the coattails. Okay, he won. They're gonna say, "Oh, he was the coach for the U.S. Olympic team, and they won." Oh wow, bro! I could have been the coach that year with the Olympic team, and we would have still won. You hear me? Are you kidding me? He didn't do shit. All right, he did not affect the outcome of that Olympic team. All right, he's just there like a babysitter, old man. They look at him. The players on that team look at him like their grandpa. They just want to do well for him. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yes. Okay, Popo. Jesus Christ.
And so I try to figure out, exactly why do people vote for him? What do they exactly think he's going to do for them?
Lower taxes. Secure the border. Keep men out of women's bathrooms and out of women's and girls' sports, maybe. All right, start there. We'll start there, Pop. We'll start there.
I was just watching his rally in Pennsylvania, and all the college kids were behind him with red hats and that sort of thing. And I just wonder if they know that.
Oh, yes, because Pop knows things. This old man. This is what I know. Some of these old people, this guy's like in the 70s. They think they know things because they're old and they lived like before there was the internet and there was other things. Like this guy probably still reads newspapers. All right. He probably still reads the New York Times and the Post. He probably thinks like that's the news. All right. He's a fossil. He needs to be buried.
He, had to pay money because of his rent practices in New York. That he was a racist in that sense. He had to pay money because of Trump University being a fraud.
It's funny watching him trying to think of all his anti-Trump like list of things he can use. It's funny.
He lost all kinds of money with casinos back east. There's Trump steaks. You could go on and on. I mean, I don't know if they. So I say, what does he say or do that they want to vote for him?
This really just kind of proves that he's never actually watched or seen Trump with an open mind. Or Trump has been on camera so many times. He has so much on camera footage of doing all kinds of things, and this guy still tries to act naive. He tries to act ignorant, like he just doesn't know what could it be. I don't understand. No, man, he's lying to you. That's what he thinks. That's where he gets off thinking, oh, I'm Popovich, I know things, I can't understand what so what's going on. No, dude, you don't know. All right, your claim to fame is Tim Duncan. Without Tim Duncan, you're nothing. You're coaching in college, junior college. You're assistant coach somewhere. You don't win games, you get fired, and you're not this dude who I get to clown on. All right, so let's check it out.
They must think he's a strong guy. This is the biggest whiner that ever walked the face of the earth. I mean, he's like the poorest example of a fifth grade bully I've ever seen. I mean, I just, would you want your kids to act like he does? Would you want your kids to make the excuses he does? everybody's come after me. I'm, everybody this, that, and the other. I'm doing this for you. Poor me, whine, whine, whine. You look at it, it's, like the election that he lost.
This goes on. We're not going to watch it all because I'm going to throw up. But for 13 minutes, we're barely 2.5 minutes in, and he's just giving us, regurgitating all the anti-Trump stuff that we already know, and yet he just won. This was, I believe, before the election, so I'm sure he cried himself to sleep on election night, and I'm sure his vagina hurts still to this day. But I can hope and pray that the Spurs move on from this guy, because it's been long enough. He's doing more harm than good at this point at the Spurs. I'm telling you now, I will never go or watch another game so long as this douchebag is the coach. All right, so you hear it from me, Jamin, your host, Jamin's Daily. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come.